Hi, I'm John Mayfield, the Real Estate Tech Guy for Global Real Estate School, and thank you for watching another one of our live streaming events. I thought I would do kind of an interesting little scenario, and these are 10 questions that you might see on the real estate exam. Now, I have no idea what's on the real estate exam, and I want to give a disclaimer. I could never, ever predict or give you any kind of advice to say these are the 10 questions, these 10 questions you would for sure see. However, I think I can at least give you 10 questions in topic areas that very well could be in some form or fashion asked on the real estate exam, similar to the 10 questions I have. So we're going to make it quick, fun, and informative, and we're going to allow you to learn some good information to help you pass the real estate exam on the first attempt. So I have the questions here. I'm going to read them to you. I'm going to let you take a moment, try to figure out if you think you know what the answer is, then I'll give you the answer and we'll go through those together. So the first question has to do with Mike and Cindy Smith purchasing a home. Mike and Cindy could have all of these documents listed there recorded, except, now you're going to see sometimes some questions like this where they really throw in the word except. You never know. Sometimes they're trying to get away from those types of questions, but we do have a new testing agency in a couple of states where I work in, and these could pop up from time to time. So the question then is saying to you, all of these answers are correct except one of them. So if Mike and Cindy were purchasing a home, all of these documents could some form or fashion be recorded except for one of them. Well, could the general warranty deed be recorded? Sure it is. That's what gives constructive notice to the whole world that that property's in your name. So that's going to be a document that could be recorded. The mortgage, the lender could record the mortgage, correct? Because that gives constructive notice. Remember, filing or recording is that document that gives constructive notice. So yes, that could be recorded. And then when you pay that off, you want that to be released. So that could also be recorded. But what about the sales contract? Well, that's the correct answer. D, you would not normally record the sales contract. Now, I know there are times where a person may say, well, wait, but what about for the real estate exam? We're not getting into the weeds on the what ifs. And if you find yourself doing that, you're probably going to get yourself in trouble and you're going to miss that problem. So the correct answer is D, you normally do not record the sales contract. Our second question talks about Jason installing a septic tank. Now, in order to install a septic tank, Jason will have to conduct which of the following? Well, this question, I talked about this not too long ago on one of my blogs, or our podcast, pardon me, and you can listen to those podcasts at iTunes or Podbean or even on Spotify. But the correct answer is B. It is a percolation test, okay? A percolation test. That, and I think we talked about this last night on our video session we did, that allows you to figure out how much absorption the soil and how quickly the soil can absorb the water. So anytime you see a question that's talking about septic tank or for that type of a situation, the correct answer would be a percolation test. So here I thought I'm just talking away into the camera and I wasn't even on the screen, but That's why I had the video or the questions down a little bit lower, but that's okay. So Maryland's listing with the Brown family has expired. How many months does Maryland or another agent in the listing office have to contact the Brown's family if they are on the do not call list? Is it 12 months? Is it 18 months? Could it be 24 months or 36 months? Well, the correct answer is B. It is 18 months. You have up and through 18 months after the termination of a listing that you could actually continue to call or someone from your office, even if they're on the do not call list. Why? Because you had a prior written relationship with them, or what they call a business relationship with them. So the law allows you up to 18 months to continue to call them. I'd put that in my memory bank and remember that one. Sarah wants to attract tenants to a property. Which of the following is the best method for attracting those tenants? Well, all of these look pretty good as ways you could attract more tenants, but if you looked at these, how about cooperating with brokers in the area? Not a bad idea. You probably might want to do that. Developing an advertising campaign, that as well, not bad. Having a press release published in the local paper, not a bad idea, but again, we want to look at the best method, and the best method is securing referrals from satisfied tenants. Now, I want to tell you one thing here. Once you pass your test and you get your real estate license, working what we call your sphere of influence is one of the best things you can do to build your business. You've got to work with past clients, customers, and what we term your sphere of influence. That's where you're going to get the best results. So the correct answer is D, as in Donald, getting referrals from satisfied tenants. How about number 5? Daniel's house was purchased for $175,000. If Daniel's loan was $131,250, what was the loan to value ratio? Well, I just did if you haven't gone out and checked our 5-minute real estate exam tips out, go check those out. I've got a playlist. I just did a video right before this one where we did this T problem. And, I want to, I'm going to actually erase that and see if I can do a little better job here. And I'm going to pick a different color out. Let's go with blue, and let's do a little bit bigger. So I'm going to draw a T right here. And I'm going to put a multiply sign in the bottom, and I'm going to put a couple of dots across the top so that you will know that we will either multiply or we will divide. It depends. Now, this T problem has 3 labels, so the top area is labeled P for part. The bottom area is labeled T for total, and this final area is your percent or rate. Now, I want to just draw a little line out here, and I'm going to say part, and I'm going to put parentheses, and I'm going to put SM for smaller, okay? Down at the bottom, this stands for total, or I could write the word big, the bigger number. Now, I need to go back over here to a smaller pin head. If we look at that problem that we have in front of us, we have a big number and a small number, don't we? So where does the big number go? On the bottom. And where does the small number go? On top. And it looks like we're solving for what the ratio right here. Now let's think about it so that you can have this in perspective. Daniel's house was purchased for $175,000. That's his sales price. If Daniel got a loan for $131,250, the loan is a smaller amount. They want to know what's the loan to value ratio. Now, since we have, and I'm going to do a different color here, since we have one on the top and one on the bottom, what does our math tell us to do? It tells us to divide. And I just see that my mirroring stopped, and I should have been paying more attention, and I'm painstakingly drawing all of this out for you, but we'll catch back up. It's no problem. It's a live YouTube TV, and that's okay. And the trolls will probably have all kinds of fun writing comments in the bottom, but that's okay too. So go out, get a job, and do something with your life, right? Go to real estate school. Sign up at Global Real Estate School. Even if you're in California, get your Missouri license. It'd be better than being a troll on YouTube. But we're back, so I think we're going and we're having fun. And that's good because some of you may have been kind of dozing off, and now I've awoken you to follow along. So we have the lower number, the smaller number on top, the bigger number on the bottom. Remember, I was saying here with a different color, our math tells us to divide. So if I take 131,250, and I divide it by 175, I get, let's see, I might be able to do this, 0.75. If I move that decimal over 2 places, it's a 75% loan to value ratio, which is number C. See that there? Number C. So remember, on these T problems, you'll always have two variables. You just simply have to solve for the third one. So if you have the top and one at the bottom, you divide. You always start with your putting the top number in your calculator first, then hit divide, then put your second number in, then hit equal. If you have the two bottoms, it's just a simple multiplication problem. So the answer is C, as in Charlie. Janice's property has been sold. All of the following documents could be used to convey title, except, well, the answer is D, as in Donald, deed in lieu of foreclosure. That deed is used for Janice to convey, or that deed would be used to convey the title to the lender, back to the lender. It would not be used if she sold her property. Does that make sense? So if she sold her property, she could use a warranty deed, a quitclaim deed, or a trustee's deed. But if she sold her property, she wouldn't use a deed in lieu of foreclosure. That's only used by a lender when a defaulting borrower or mortgagor deeds the property back to the lender. Now, deed in lieu of foreclosure normally comes about when a borrower's behind on their payments and they can't make the payments anymore, and rather than the bank go through the long process of foreclosing, because in some states it takes a long time, the borrower might just tell the bank, look, I will deed the property back to you in lieu of you having to go and foreclose on the property. The problem with that is doesn't wipe away any other debts that are on the property. And normally, from what I've read, the lender's not able to come back and get a deficiency judgment against you. again, that gets more legal per state, and you don't have to know that for the test. But for this question, just understand Janice would not use a deed in lieu of foreclosure if she sold her property, but she could use all of the other ones that are listed there. Okay, what act established the validity of the Electronic Signature Act? And the answer to this one is B, the Electronic Signature in Global National Commerce Act. B as in boy, okay? 3 days before the closing, Meredith notified her agent that she would not buy the property. What legal action can the seller take to enforce the terms of the contract? Well, file an adverse possession claim? No, that wouldn't be it. File a les pendens notice? That just means there's a lawsuit pending. Could be it, but let's read on. Serve a notice of redemption? I have no idea what that is. Sue for specific performance? That's the correct answer. So what legal action can the seller take to enforce the terms of the contract? They can sue you for specific performance. And number 9, Carrie grants a life estate to Sylvia based on the life of Charlie. We talked about life estates, and you can find a YouTube video on my channel for that as well. Sylvia dies before Charlie. Now remember, pour autrui, for the life of another, was based on Charlie's life. What is the status of the life estate? Would it belong to Carrie in fee simple absolute, the person who granted the life estate? It belongs to Carrie's remainderman? Charlie? I don't know. It belongs to Charlie and the heirs of Charlie? I don't think so yet. Would it belong to Sylvia's heirs until the death of Charlie? And that's the correct answer. Once Charlie dies, then Sylvia's heirs no longer have the property. It reverts back to Carrie. Actually, it would, in that case, it would just go to Charlie. It's based on Charlie's life, pardon me. So when Charlie dies, Sylvia's heirs, the life estate ends, and the heirs, then the property would revert back to Carrie. So that is correct. Kind of confusing, but I would make sure you understand that. And here's a lot that's valued at $75. The house is measured by 30 by 50. So if we take 30 times 50, we get, I want to find out the value of the house, is 1,500 square feet, and it's $100 a square foot. So if we take that times 100, we get 150,000. And then we want to add the value of the lot, which gives us 225,000. So I'm going to write that up here, 225. Hopefully that is, you can still see that. Almost, but that's 225,000. All right, let's erase that and move that over just so you can see it. 225,000. Now, the problem wants to know if Cassandra pays a 6% commission, the agent should list the property for at least what amount? This is the only time the T problem gets a little bit different. And so what we have to do, and I'll just pick a different color so that you can see what's happening here, is we want to take another T problem, and this time we want to do 100%, and we want to subtract 6%, which gives us 0.94. Gives us 94%. But remember, if you move that decimal over 2 places, you get 0.94. I'm hoping you can see that. It looks like you can. Okay. I don't think this is available down here. Oh, you can see that down there. I thought maybe you couldn't, but I've got more room to work down there. Good. Okay, so at this point, we're going to put 225,000 and we're going to divide it by 0.94, and I get, in this case, so we have 30 times 50 times 100 equals 150,000 plus the 75,000 equals 225, and we want to divide that by 0.94, and I get, I don't know where we got these answers at. Oh, I see what I did wrong there. You have to read the problem very carefully. It's a 2-story home. So if I take 30 times 50, I get 1,500 times 2 is 3,000 square feet times 100 equals 300,000. And now I'm going to divide that by 0.94, and I get 300,000 plus the 75,000, right? Which is 375. And now we divide that by 0.94, and I get 398,936, or D. I messed up, but that is okay, because sometimes when you see me make a mistake, it allows you or helps you to see that hopefully you won't make that same mistake down the road. I was dictating some of these to my daughter, and she put these together, and so I looked at this and I thought, well, I know how to work that problem. That's not a problem. I want to double check everything before I go on, and I missed the fact that it was a 2-story home. So let me walk back through that again. I'm going to just erase all of this here, because I think it's good for us to go back through that. Some of my YouTube videos have been going so well, and today I'm striking out. Hopefully I'm not. All right, so we know the value of the lot, 75. The house is 30 by 50. 30 by 50 equals 1,500. Now it's a 2-story home. So I'm going to multiply that times 2, which gives me 3,000. Now I'm going to multiply that times 100, which gives me 300,000. Now we have to bring that price of the lot down, which gives us $375,000. Okay? Now we work the T problem, and we put the 375 on top because we're solving for the bigger number. We're solving for what should the property be listed for to net all of this, to pay for all of this. So the 375 that we got here, that's a smaller number. That's what they're going to net. So we're solving for the list price. What should it be listed for? And on SellerNet, this is the only time we take 100% and we subtract the commission rate. And that gives us 94%, or when we move the decimal over 2 places, it's 0.94. Now, what does our math tell us to do, our math sign? it says we should divide. So we put the 375 in our calculator first, hit the divide button, then 0.94, and we get $398,936. Should I leave this video online or take it off? I could take it off if I wanted to, but it might be good for me to leave it on. I'll watch it back and see how it goes. But that's the answer. So there are 10 questions that, who knows, you could or could not see similar type questions, but in any respect, you just were able to go through 10 practice questions with me, and you got to watch me get one of them incorrect the first time because I didn't read the question carefully. And you have to do that on the real estate test. And I think it's a good learning exercise for anyone who watches the video. And hopefully you caught that the minute I was working the problem. And if not, you and I both know next time, read a little closer. Hey, go out and check out our Global Real Estate School website. We also have things that we're doing on our YouTube channel with playlists. I'd love for you to subscribe there. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. I had 189 this morning, so I have 99,800 and something to go, but we'll get there. I'm believing that. And go over, like our Facebook page. We do some things over there from time to time. Be sure and follow us on Instagram. And if you need help with the real estate school, you can always check out our flashcards, practice exams, and some other resources we have at globalrealestateschool.com. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Sorry for the error, but hey, your teacher's human too, right? So we all make errors, but you're going to pass that test on the first time. I just know it. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.